Welcome to my channel, Money Moves with Yvette. On this channel, you will see me learn how to budget, invest, and save my money as a new instructional designer, formerly an elementary school teacher.
Today, I'm going to talk about tapping into my 3-month emergency fund and going over what my life has been like in the past 3 weeks, like the end of November. So if you're interested in finding out, let's get to. Well, let's start with some emergencies that happened first. In late November, those were my garage door of my home broke, so that was very unexpected. It cost me a total of $990. I bought my house in late September of 2022. My house is very small. It's only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and 1-car garage. And I love it. It's my home that I can afford on my one income. I bought it when I was a teacher, and I like to say it is my little mansion. This home was listed by Open Door, and all the items in my house were remodeled. It's like I was really happy with what I saw. I know that now they cut a lot of corners. The person that did the flip of this house in certain areas, like my tile, if you walk on it, you can hear it. People say like, oh yeah, it's hollow in this area. That means that it can easily crack, and it has some of my tiles have cracked. And thankfully, my brother, he's a big help of my home and maintaining it. He knows a neighbor, and the neighbor had knowledge of how to change tiles, and he showed my brother how to do it once, and now my brother's always ready in case another one of my tiles breaks to just rechange that tile, put it with better glue adhesion or whatever he does with cement. So yeah. Anywho, back to the story. I went off on a tangent. My garage door broke, and I guess they cut corners in my garage door. So I don't know exactly, but I guess every garage door has to have a spring that pulls the garage door. And guess what? Mine did not. It just had a metal bracket. I'm going to show you some pictures. And that was used to pull my garage door with the motor. And it was just pulling it up and down for the past years that I've lived here. And it was forcing my motor to do more heavy lifting. And finally, my door just, it wouldn't go up anymore. This bracket that was pulling it fell off and came off. And so I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I'm going to call my sister, my older sister. She's 4 years older, and she's always been a homeowner for, maybe 20 years now. And so I called her, said, hey, do you have a trusted go-to guy that you use for your garage door? And thankfully, she did. So she gave me his number. It's a company, they're small, mom and pop. So I called. I had the hopes that they were going to say, oh, it's an easy fix. We can use a tool. In my head, it was like, oh, they just have to bolt them back on, buy new screws, and put my door back with this bracket that fell that was being on top of my garage door. But no, was I wrong? I needed a brand new door. I did not need a new motor. Thankfully, the man was an honest guy, and he said any other person would say the motor is shot, and then they would resell that motor because you can get it for you can sell it for $200 if it's used. But my motor, he said, was still in good condition. I did not need new rails. My old door had insulation, but he said I don't need it because my garage has a one wall that's attached to my kitchen that has insulation, and then my other wall did not have insulation. So he's like, if you want it, it's just going to cause you to be able to pay a little bit more, but it doesn't make a real difference. So I opted out of my insulated garage door, the new one. But my old door did have it, so I don't know if I did the right move. I told my boyfriend about it, and he's like, oh, we can buy insulation later. We can get it and install it ourselves. So I might just take him up on that offer. But we'll see because my summer heats in Arizona are bad, and I don't want my garage to retain more heat, or I don't know if it would or not make a difference. But yeah, and then the person in the garage like changing it, he said he would throw in that spring because like it's supposed to come with a spring, so um that it won't be pulling up by this bracket. And then he changed some other reinforced parts that were better quality. And yeah, that was my garage door emergency that I had in late November. My second unexpected emergency expense was my car battery. Yes, we know the saying, when it rains, it pours, or like bad things happen in threes. Well, this was my second unexpected emergency. And it was, I drive a 2020 Jeep Renegade Sport, and I've had it since December of 2023. I bought it from a reputable dealer. It had low miles. I've had it for about 1 year. And I was noticing when I would start it up, my push start, and it would lag. And I'm like, okay, maybe I attributed it to it's December. It's sitting out in the cold some days. Um, and it's just gonna get better throughout the day. So then I drive it to work or I drive it to a grocery store, and then I do the push start, and it's lagging, and I'm like, oh no, it's not that cold anymore as it was when I barely started it the first time. So the second time that I'm starting it throughout the day, it shouldn't lag in my mind. And so like I just keep an eye on, and then every day it just continues to get worse and worse where you're like, oh shoot, it's now lagging for like maybe 4 seconds, and it should be maybe like 2 seconds or one. So I had to decide to tell my brother. He's my go to person because he is like a father figure. He's about 11 years older, and he stepped in when my dad was really not around, and he helped all of us because we're a family of six, and he's the oldest. So he's always the person that we call and say, hey, do you have time to help me with this? And so I told him about my car battery, and he's like, oh, let's go to AutoZone and see if you even need a new battery. And we went to the first AutoZone near my house. And then that AutoZone was like, oh, we don't have the machine working that tests the battery, but you can go to another AutoZone. So then we went to a second AutoZone. And then they're like, we don't have the machine working for the battery tester. So I gave up and told him, let's just buy me a new battery so I can have peace of mind that my battery will not just not start in my next time that I want to go to my job or my next like shopping trip to the grocery store, because I know my battery was going bad. I could just hear it. You know your car. So I know my car, and I was trying to tell my brother, "Hey, listen how it lags." He's like, "I don't hear the lag, but it's not his car, so I understand. He would know if his battery's dying. So I just told him, "Let's bite the bullet. Let's go with my gut, and let's buy my battery and just change it." So we stayed at that second AutoZone, and we said, "Well, we don't need to test it. We just want to buy my new battery and have the associate at AutoZone change it." And thankfully, we did wait. There was a lot of people getting their batteries changed, so we were like third in line. And how much did that battery cost me? It cost me $320. You might think that's a lot. I thought that too. I wanted to go cheap. I wanted to go with like the first battery that was like 170, but then my brother said, go with the same battery that you have right now. And it was like the most expensive. It was like 5 year, I don't know, it's on the screen right now. And I just went with that one. But I don't know why my battery from December of 2023, when I bought it with the dealer, it gave out so soon. My brother was also like, why would it be bad? I go, I don't know. Maybe I leave the door a little bit cracked open, and I've done that. And my lights are like depleting my battery because I'm not shutting my doors correctly, and like maybe my seatbelt left it open. My mom left it open when she went to go get something she forgot, and it sits in my garage over 24 hours. I don't know. So I just said, I guess this is my next emergency expense that I'm going to have to tap into my emergency fund. So I took $320 and it's now my second unexpected. Yeah. Now, the third emergency, I'm actually thinking it wasn't the worst because it's not even that much money, but I just had to include it in the video because it was something that I do see as an emergency. I have a bush in my backyard. My mom waters it all the time. And this is a big bush. I don't even know why it grows so fast, but she loves plants. She has a whole bunch of them, but she just has them in little like pots. And so this one, it came with the house. So she's like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful." And I was like, in my back of my mind, I would like to chop it up because it just grows so high in the air. And me being a girl, I don't want to do any maintenance around my house. Like, I just have lots of rocks in my front yard and rocks in my backyard. I don't plant and I don't like to cut grass. Thankfully, I don't have any. And you, who would in Arizona unless you have a lot of money to spend because you got to maintain that yard. So, my brother, again, he's like my father figure. He's the older brother that everybody goes to and cuts my bush or maintains that. So he uses a trimmer. I don't know if I bought it. I think I bought it. And he just, told me, "Hey, give me some money for me to buy a trimmer." Because he used to have his neighbor let him borrow it and he would bring it over. And that was an added step. So he's like, "Hey, I don't want to be asking my neighbor for me to use his trimmer. So buy a trimmer." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even know I needed a trimmer. So I guess the trimmer he uses that I bought was not good anymore. It didn't have enough power or it was getting bad. So he's like, "Oh, Black Friday sales are happening. Keep an eye out. I want you to buy this." And it's the one being shown on screen. "I want you to buy this Black & Decker. It's only $50 if you put it with the 2-year warranty," which he told me to get, which I'm like, "Okay, I'll get it." And then it was, I guess, for me to have him cut that big bush in the back. So that's $50. So those are my 3 unexpected emergency expenses. In total, my cost that I dipped into was $1,360. So in conclusion, I just want to say that if you don't have your emergency fund, just get an emergency fund started, because as I have these 3 unexpected emergencies happen, I'm glad that I had the money available and I didn't have to put it on a credit card or had to borrow from my family. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, commenting down below, and please share with a friend if you think this will help someone learn something. Thanks for watching. Talk to you the next time.